Here's all the cards. 6 deck Blackjack. Dealer stands on all 17. Blackjack pays 3-2. Shoe number 6, Chuck Temple versus flat betting. Happy Valentine's Day. Today is February 14, 2018. Oops. So we're working our way through this series, 7-shoe series. This is, like I said, number 6. Testing the Chuck Temple versus flat betting. If you haven't seen these before, both betting systems play on the same hands. That way it's a head-to-head comparison on how they would perform. Show you all the cards so you can see that they're all there. I show you the entire shuffle procedure so that you can see that I didn't set the cards up in any to favor any particular betting strategy. It takes a few minutes, but for authenticity, it's kind of nice, I think. Gives me a chance to explain some things if you don't know how this works or anything about the system, or to just talk about whatever I feel like talking about. You're, of course, welcome to skip ahead, but you never know what you might miss. Anyways, been getting a lot of comments lately from different folks on different videos, so appreciate that. It's always interesting to see what other people think, even when you're wrong. Just kidding. It's nice to have a little conversation going on. Anyways, I use my automatic card shuffler because it really speeds things up. It seems to work okay. I did a video where I sort of tested out the way that this works, or the results that come out of it. It's in my video library there somewhere. You can see that. This is you're not going to find this exact model out there, but they all work pretty much the same way. So the question being, do they give you a good shuffle? And I think they do, as long as you don't rely on it just to go one time through. If you follow a shuffle procedure, which is what I'm doing here, so I take all 6 decks, put them in a stack. After the first stack of cards that comes off, I take about half of what I just put over there with an approximately equal amount here from the original stack. After I've also done the wash in the beginning there, where I lay them all out. I riffle them, because that's really not a shuffle. It really should be called a riffler, but the whole procedure is called a shuffle. And that's instead of doing the folding the cards things. Anyways, and then you strip the deck, where you take some off the top and put them here. So you kind of you mix them up a little and reorder them, and then run them through the machine again, the riffle, and keep going through like that. That really, in my test, really did a good job at mixing them up. And the way I had done that test was, I put all the red cards on one side and the black cards on another, and then I could see how they came out. Now, you might think that you would want it to evenly alternate between red and black and red and black, but actually you don't, because then that becomes predictable, right? Anyways, as long as you do, like I said, a good procedure, not just run them straight through, it gives you a pretty good result. I don't usually see anything that I can consider like clumping. Where you get a run of cards that are sequentially in order and in the same suit. You may get that occasionally, but then again, that could also, you could shuffle over and over and over, and eventually you're going to get results like that. So anyways, once I've gone through the first pass of the suit, then so this side over here, I'll split it in two piles and then merge them together with the riffle, which you'll see. And then at the very end, then you do the traditional cutting of the deck. Giving the player one last opportunity to impart influence, if anything. Sometimes when you're playing, you'll see. So I ran the whole thing through, and I take about half, and then I'll bring them back together. The dealer will present the deck or the shoe to a player, usually whoever last got the cut card, and or the one that shows that the end of the shoe, and offer for them to cut. Sometimes people pass it up and say, "Oh, give it to someone else," which is fine. Oops. There we go. I know some people, gamblers are superstitious. Some people perhaps think they are unlucky, or that some other player is lucky, or maybe they just don't feel like doing it. I'll always do it. I don't care. I don't try not to be too superstitious. All right. So, like I said, player cutting the deck. Bring that around. That's our cut card. Go for 75, maybe 80, maybe more on the line of 80%. That one actually looks a little bit deep. We have always gotten at least 45 hands out of a shoe. I expect that we'll get at least that. I guess it depends on how many splits you have. That could possibly change things, but I don't know how many shoes I've done now, but it's been a lot. We've always gotten it. All right, so flat bettors on this side. The Chuck Temple system is over here. Each system starts with 50 units, which is all right there for one, and 50 for the other. Okay, blues are 10, reds are 5s, whites are single units. Okay, like this for me. And before I forget, let's burn a card right there. I keep track of the number of hands, and I'll let you kind of know as we go along. Pretty much, more or less every 10. If you really want to know my analysis or instructions on how to play the Chuck Temple system, look back to the number 1 shoe in this series. I do the most detail on it there. It takes a little while, so I don't want to waste too much time. This is the flow chart for the system. You start here with 1 unit. The L and the red arrows are the directions you go when you are losing, and the green W's are the direction that you go when you win. So I'll bring this up a little bit as needed. So it's kind of a hybrid positive, negative type of progressive system. This down here, 40% CLB, current loss bet, or current loss balance. We'll probably get to that. I think we've gotten to that in every shoe. So we'll save that for later as needed, which I no doubt I think will come. So anyways, each system starts with a single unit wager. You can translate or transpose units into dollar amounts depending on the table that you're playing. So this could be $5, $10, $25, $100, whatever you want. It's single unit, okay, for us. We play by perfect basic strategy, which you can find at thewizardofodds.com. I'm checking for a blackjack here, which he doesn't have, so we just continue to play the hand. 19 stands, 14, 24, and you're up, just like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, these are you know, quarters, but they represent half units. I'm going to pay you in that to get started for the Chuck Temple, because assuming that you were here, you won, you move, and you repeat the wager of 1 unit. And then if you win that one, then you increase to 1.5, and if you win that, you go back to 1. And as you win, you keep going 1, 1.5, 1, 1.5. Anytime you lose in this sequence, or even from the top, you head over to the losing side or the negative progressive side with a wager of 2.2, and then you continue down there until you win, and you come up back to the top. Okay, so anyways, I gave you the 2 halves, hoping that you get on a winning streak, but also because I like to put this up on top of that stack there to remind myself that this is your second 1 unit wager, or that you are on the positive progressive side. Something that you'll have to figure out a method for that in the casino, so to help you remember. And you might think, oh, I don't need to, I'll remember. Trust me, you'll forget. Well, trust me, I will forget. Okay, 13, 23. So now I can take that off of there, but you get to keep it. And I am also going to keep the Chuck Temple losing streak money, or the CLB, current loss balance, over here, because in case we get that far down in the sequence, I'll need it. And how you're going to do that in the casino, I'm not sure. You have to come up with some way of keeping track, and that happens, you know, in some of the other systems too. You have to remember how, you know, what step you're in, or how deep you are into the progression, and what your next action should be. 15, too many. So you get that back. And my mistake. I'm sorry. Hold on. See, you were supposed to move this wager to 2.2. So, see, I'm talking too much. All right, you need to change that half of a unit for 5/10, so that you can make your wager 2.2 like it was supposed to be. Who caught that as I was going? Yeah, at least I got caught up with myself. Now you get this 1 back from your loss balance, plus another 1, plus another 2.2. So you end up closing out for a gain, which I think is how Chuck has designed this system. Okay, now you start back over at the top. Okay? Now, of course, in the casino, if you make a mistake like that, they're not going to let you revise your wager. But, you know, I do that. If you forget to put out enough and you lose, I'm also going to take it from you. But this is all just for fun anyways. 16, 6, 16, 22. All right, so again, remember, I like to put some kind of marker up here. I usually use the quarter. I could use the dime or the tenth. Just something to help me remember that I'm on the positive side. And now when I win, I need to, if and when I win, I go up to 1.5. Okay. A 9 does not double to a 2. Just take a card, and at 11, you would double now. 14 stands, 12, 13. What do you not want? What's the most important card? The 8. Oh, the 8 is still the most important card, because now the 8 will bust the dealer. And now the dealer is at 16. Lots of little cards, huh? Do big cards follow little cards? Sometimes more little cards. That would be 17, and this is 14. So that is a loss. Take that off of there. Used up a bunch of aces, bunch of little cards. If you're counting, does that change? How does that change the count? I'm not able to do all of this and keep track of the count, at least not yet. I'll get it right this time. Wager for Chuck Temple is now 2.2. Oops. Let's check for the ace. It doesn't really matter if I check for the ace. You wouldn't hit that anyways. That's a push. We just repeat the hand. It's as if nothing happened, except maybe the count changed if you're counting cards. Probably work this back a little bit closer to even. Let's check for the ace again. It's not there. You're not going to split those nines, not to a 10. 15, 16, another ace, huh? Too many. Whatever that too many is, I don't know. I just know it's more than 21. So there's your 1 from your lost balance, plus another 1, plus 0.2. See that? So for now, Chuck Temple is working, and that's great. But trust me, when the time comes, you're going to need to be up. Or so it's so far seen. So you were here, so just like before, you're here at 2.2, you won, you go right back to the top. $17 stands. 14, see how important that 8 was? Get over there. Okay, and again, you repeat the wager of 1. Marking for yourself somehow, or that you are on a winning streak, or at least on the positive side of the progression. Hopefully a winning streak. All systems work better when you just simply win. Okay? A 10 will double down. Single card. 20. 17. And hey, that's always nice. I'd love to double down myself. Like to split and double down. Even better. Resplit and double down. And now you will increase this wager to 1.5. I'm going to use the dimes, because otherwise you end up with all of them. Not saying that you're going to lose this hand, but let's put them in play. Who's counting? Oh, insurance. Insurance closed. It's not there. 20 stands. 20 push. Like I said, no change. That was the first 10 hands. So, expecting at least 35 more to go. So the wager's still 1.5. You're on the winning side of the system. Checking. 14 hits. Oh, there's that stinky 8 again. That's what you don't want. 20. All right, now here's something. Now, you know, you're keeping track. I'm keeping track of the CLB over here. Now, obviously, you had been on the winning side for a couple of hands over there. You know, I don't know if that is supposed to to offset. Does that like create a hole over here that does that affect your CLB? I don't know. I can't. I haven't decided, or I'm not going to do it that way. It's just when the losses start, when you move to the negative progressive side, is when I start tracking the CLB. Does that make sense? Doesn't, yes, this is 1.5 instead of just 1, but I don't count the fact that you won a couple of hands over here. That's what I'm trying to say. Follow? Savvy? 16 needs a card. 19, that's a good card. 12, 22. So there's 1.5 to 2.2. So you're gonna need let me swap those out because that will be easier. Okay, and then another half plus 0.2, and 1 over there, and reset. Start back at the top. So it does seem and not to give too much of a spoiler, that Chuck Temple's system works as long as you're basically either winning or going back and forth, win lose, or lose lose win. As long as you don't get too deep, and I suspect we will eventually see that because we always have. 17 stands, 12, 21. What you got? 8-18, 2 and 8. I'm pretty sure he's just gonna stand. I like to just make sure. Yeah, you just stand. I like to check the card, the book, whatever. I think you should always take that to the table with you, just to make sure. Because once you start screwing up the system, basic strategy, then you might as well, I don't know, do something else. 15, 18. Again, push. If you're going to deviate from the strategy, you might as well play never bust or mimic the dealer. You can't just, at least stick with a system. You can't keep just guessing. 14. Again, 8 of spades. That's no good. All right, well, with the loss of 2.2, we now move up to 4.4 for Chuck. And while I keep mentioning Chuck by name, he didn't. That's the name of the guy who put this system up on YouTube that I found, and I don't know Chuck. I don't have anything against Chuck. In fact, I give him kudos for working up a system and sharing it with people and making it available to critique. So good for you, Chuck. Best of luck to you. 5, 12. Now, you want to hit this 12? You do. A lot of people are going to yell at you. But it is the right play. 19. Split. 6. 12. 22. Okay, so let's pay the flat better first. That's 4.4. So there's 1 plus 2.2. So you're going to get another 1.2. Okay? I'm not going to be all neat about it. There, it's your money. Take it away. So, like I said, as long as you don't get too far down into the negative progression, this does work. It's just that when you get on a losing streak, watch out. Okay, so back to the top, single unit wager. 14. Stands to a 2, 10, 13, 14. Yeah, now the 8 works for you. 22. My belt is getting worn out, and I gotta do something about this. It's like an old sweater. Stuff gets stuck on it. Okay, so you're going to repeat the single unit wager, but I'm going to put that little marker on there to help me remember that we're on the positive side. Ooh, I love to see a 10. Now let's get something to work with. Not something to work with. Just hit it. 16, hit it again. Too many. 20. And now we go right to a 2.2 wager. And again, checking for the ace. See how I had to double check? Usually the dealer has the little mirror that they slide things into, and they'll turn it sideways if when they show an ace or something. But if they're not, if they check by hand, and they go like this, and they double check, you can almost and then they end up not having blackjack, you can almost always be assured that they have a 4. Because a 4, if I have one handy here, because it's the point on the 4 and the point of the ace. Just looking over in the other cards here, of course. No 4s. Here we go. Look. You're only seeing like, if you're only seeing like this much of the card, which one was which, and you're just doing a quick look. Obviously, once you see, you know, the lines, even so, it's hard to tell, right? So, if the dealer goes like this and double checks, and then they don't flip, I would suspect they have a 4. Is that cheating? No, just being observant. Would I change the way I play this? If I think he has a 14 and I have a 15 and I'm supposed to hit that to this jack, but I think he has a 14, I don't think I'm going to hit. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to get the dealer in trouble by saying, you know, by announcing it to the table, oh, he has a 4 because he peaked. Just keep it to yourself and adjust your play if you want to. Okay? If you are certain that that's, because they're not going to keep looking and looking and looking. They're going to do it just once. They're going to check for the ace and go, huh? Oh, okay. Now again, they usually have that mirror. Anyways, all that for nothing because they did happen. Anyways, just trying to share some, I don't know, insights or knowledge. I mean, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I know some people on this, some of my viewers have not played very much, and perhaps some have played more than me. I know I have played hundreds, if not thousands of hours in the casino, and there's things you pick up. Okay, 20 stands, 16, 18. So let's pay that. That's 4.4. So again, 1 plus 2.2 is 3.2. So I go you another 1.2. Nice and sloppy. Not how they'll do it in the casino, but no one's tipping me, so that's all you get. And again, that closes your cycle. And like I said, choppy back and forth action with Chuck Temple works. Can you predict when you're going to get choppy back and forth action? That would be nice, wouldn't it? All right, that's the second set of 10, so that is 20 hands gone down. Back to the top for Chuck. Of course, flat better is always single unit. Well, that's an easy double down, right? A 9 to a 6. I'd like when they come down like that. Oops, oops, oops. 16. Too many. Does it even matter what you had? Let's see. 19. It didn't. It ended up being inconsequential, but I gotta show you anyways. Okay, so, you know, Chuck doesn't say if you do anything differently when you win or lose multiple wagers, or units or multiples due to splits and double down. So we just treat it like a regular win, or in the case of a loss, like a regular loss. 13 stands, 14, 24. Okay, winning time. Okay, so now Chuck Temple will increase to 1.5 again. And if he wins this, goes back to a single unit. And loss will take him back to the losing side, going down at 2.2. Let's see, check. See, I didn't have to look again because I distinctly saw that it was not an ace, and I was not confused that it was perhaps a 4. 13 hits, needs the 8. It's not there. 13. That's right, I did. When I looked, I clearly saw a 3. So now I take this little positive progressive indicator down, and the loss takes you, like I said before, 2.2. So let's make sure I get it right. Well, the sun went behind the clouds. It got a little darker. I think you can still see. Okay, 19 here. Stick with that. 7, 18. Oops, I get to pay you, don't I? So let's start over here. I need to give you. Give me some of these dimes back, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is why they don't use dimes in the casino. They're so little 2.2. Got it? Okay. And that will reset your cycle so you get back to the top again. Choppy back and forth action works very well for Chuck Temple. And winning streaks work very well for Chuck Temple. Let's put this up here. Picture, monkey, paint it. Let's check here first. It's not there. What do you got? 20. You'll stick with that, right? 12, 19. Okay, I feel like this shoe is going much more smoothly, rapidly, which is a good thing. Repeating the 1 unit wager, putting the positive progressive marker up on top of the stack. 8 of spades. 13, you need another 8. 15, now you don't. 22. 15. And again, take the marker down, move you to, let's do this. 1, 1.5, 2.2. Okay, because you're getting all my coins. Come on, let's go. 20, 10, 15, 21. Hey, just like a real casino. And the dealer outdraws you. 4.4. One thing I will say, I mean, I'm sure, or at least I hope that Chuck figured out mathematically some reason that he goes to 2.2, 4.4, up to 9.6, etc. I gotta tell you, it's a pain in the butt to do that kind of math, whether it's with dimes or not. It's a lot of work, and a lot of possibly getting a lot of change. But hey, if it works, then do the work, right? Okay, 8-10, 282. We'll double down, of course. I would look anyways. I didn't want to make a mistake. Because then somebody catch me on that. Let's not name names. Oh boy, you got all the stuff. All right, well, nickels are 20ths. Just like they are in real life. So there's that. And 4.4. See? What was I just saying? What a pain in the butt this is. Why did I have to do that? I guess I didn't see that extra one there. Whatever. It's done now. Single card. I like to put it down. My house, my rules. 313, you don't want the 8. 13, you still don't want the 8. 22. What'd you have? 20. Okay, so pay you there. So it's 4.4 plus 4.4, that's 8.8. That is a 3.2. So I got to give you 5.6. I need change again. So look, I'm going to give you 5.5. You'll give me 0.4. Okay? Did you see it? It's there. 4 dimes. Okay. Can't always tell exactly what the camera can see. And I'm not stacking it up nice and neat. Let's just get through this, all right? So, I can tell you by looking at the flatbedder that this has been a reasonably good shoe. This has been, I think, so far, the best shoe for Chuck. Although I think one of the other shoes performed well up to a point. We're almost at 30, so, you know, plenty of time for things to go south. But let's hope they don't. Just letting you know that they can. 15 will stand. 15. There, the 8 works for you. And let's mark the positive progression. Whoops. It doesn't really matter because I'm about to flip this card anyways. And I'm going to check. And I do, oh, actually I'm going to offer you insurance, and insurance is closed. Yeah, I only do that just for procedure. You don't take insurance. 20 stands. 5, 15. 15. 22. All right, that was 30. So we're about 2/3 of the way through of what we expect to reach as far as number of hands, increasing Chuck Temple to 1.5. Well, you're not going to hit a 20. I've seen people do it. I've seen some idiot double down on 20, and you know what? He pulled the ace. I don't know how. But he had also done it before and not gotten the ace. So I don't know what compelled him to do it again. Anyways, wow, you know it's going well when the dealer needs to get change from the players. Or when they have to call to the cage to bring out another box of chips. That's always nice too. Oh, pair of sixes. 2A4 will split. Okay. So we gotta put down more money, but that's fine. That's a weak hand here. Hopefully you don't have a weak hand. And obviously we're doing this one first. 8. You can't. It's tempting to double, but don't. 12. Stay. This one. Yo 11. Double. You can't. Yes, you can. You can double after split. You can resplit and double all you want. I'm put it up. Oh, that's not what you wanted. At least he didn't get it. You're alive. You're still alive. Ooh, you're still alive. Seen a lot of little cards again, right? Ooh, 10, 20. So lose, lose, lose. And these are the Chuck Temples. They go in the CLB for Chuck. We take off that marker. And Chuck moves up to 2.2. It's getting real dark now. I think you can still see, right? Try to turn on a light. Doesn't really help. I'll check. It's not there. So what, did you get it? No. 20. 20. Push. Repeat. 15. Hit. Too many. One too many. After losing 2.2, you increase to 4.4. Check. 17. No good. Okay, now I'm going to bring up the chart for a second. We haven't gotten this far. However you get in here, and it happened to be that we were doing some stuff over here, and we split and doubled down, and we ended up, so we have an extra couple units that we are down. 2.2, lost that. 4.4, lost that. Now we're at 9.6. Okay, he didn't quite double to like 8.8. Sure, he's got a reason. If you don't win this hand, if you win this hand, great. Move it all the way back out. If you don't, then Chuck says you're on a losing streak. And so you'll just start betting a single unit until you win. Okay, so let's just start by seeing what happens here. So 9.6. First half, 8 of spades, not too bad. Checking for an ace, it's not there. 18 will stand. Now you don't want an 8, right? That's an 8. 8 of clubs, beat the 8 of spades. Don't watch that guy's channel. The 8 of clubs? Just kidding. Maybe there is one, I don't know. Okay, so, like I said, you lost the 9.6, you're going to single unit. Okay? Every time you keep betting single unit until you win. Then when you win, you have to figure out how much you're down, and you do some math, and you take 40% of that, and that's your wager, and you keep recalculating that if you keep losing until you win, and then you come back to the top. Okay, so the only way to close out this progression now is to close it out for a loss. Unless maybe you get an opportunity to split and double down and win like that. Otherwise, this is you're going to end up being down for a loss. I don't like that myself, but I think I understand it. He's trying to keep you from digging. If you just keep losing and losing and losing, like say in Martingale and Fibonacci, you're just and Paroli, you're just digging yourself farther and farther into the hole. So I think he's trying to prevent that and accepting. Closing the progression for a bit of a loss. Okay, I think that's what he's going after. Personally, don't like it because I don't like to accept loss. That's I don't think it. I'm not sure I personally buy into that as an idea of building that a guaranteed loss into your system. But maybe it works for Chuck, and I hope it does. Okay, a 9 to a 2. See this? You will not double down. This is, I guess it's too risky. 18. Come on. Ooh. Always, when you see that, that always makes me nervous. But, hey, now I'm going to pay you back, just Chuck, out of your lost balance. Okay? Now, let me bring that back up again. Okay, I'm going to take all of that off for right now because you were here and you were to bet 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 until you won, and now you've won, and now you're going to bet 40% of your current lost balance, which I got to figure out what that is. Now, see, what I don't like about this is Chuck says you're on a losing streak, right? Oh, you lost these, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row, therefore you're on a losing streak. And let's say, and however many more you lose here, whatever, you're on a losing streak, and all of a sudden you win one. Okay, great, but you only won 1 unit, and you see this in Fibonacci happens too. 1 win out of a losing streak doesn't necessarily break your losing streak. If you follow the stock market, a whole bunch of down days. And we just had the big 1,000-point type crash. Correction. Have a whole bunch of down days, and having one day where the stock market goes up doesn't mean that the decline is over. Often that is the dead cat bounce, and that's what I fear here. That you need to win 2 in a row to get out. Otherwise, you're going to start digging a bigger, deeper, faster hole right here. But anyways, that's this system. That's just my thoughts on it. Now that I've been playing with it a little bit and thinking about it. So 40% CLB is what the wager will be. So I need to add that up. It's somewhere around 7 units, I believe, more or less. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Okay, so that's. And again, you ain't gonna stop in the casino and let you do this sort of thing. Aren't, whatever. So 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18.2. 18.2. Hold on, getting the calculator. 18.2 times 0.4. That's 40%. is, yeah, 7.28. So yeah, like I said, it's somewhere around 7. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to first? This is not your money. This is the casino's money. Um, let's see, 7.2. Oh my God, this can't be easy, huh? All right, let's 7.28. So there's making change right there. We'll make it 7.3. Okay, what's 2/100ths of a unit amongst friends, right? 7.3. 12. You're not going to hit that, not to a 6. Oh, that's something you don't like to see. 21. Okay, so let's pull the chart back up. This is what I was saying. Just because you win once doesn't mean you're going to suddenly win again. Okay, so you just keep the same way you would have repeated the single unit wager, you keep recirculating on the 40% CLB. So now you got to do the math again. So it was 18.2 plus 7.3 is 25.5 that you were down, times 0.4, somewhere around 10. Yeah, 10.2. All right, that won't be so hard to do. 10.2. Remember what I said? Like, you were doing well. You were getting up. You're definitely under right now. You're definitely losing. You have enough to fund this for probably a couple more rounds of the CLB. Not that you want to, but you could. 15 doesn't hit. 414. 18. So you lose again. So I'm not going to bring up the chart because I don't need to. I think you already understand. We retally and run the 40% again. So 25.5 plus 10.2 is 35.7 times 0.4. 14.28. Let's call it 14.3. Okay, good luck. Another weak hand for you. Checking? No. 13 needs a card. Needs what? The 8. Not there. 15 needs 6 or less. That is a 16. You need to hit that again. Stick with basic strategy. I know we've seen a lot of cards. I'm sure the count is not in our favor, but it's not. And it is not. 13. That was hand 40. Are we gonna is Chuck gonna make it here to the end? I don't know. Okay, again, so that was 14.3 plus 35.7. That should actually be easy, but I'm doing here. 14.3 plus 35.7 is now you're down 50 units. So let me just pause for a second. That's what you came in with. Okay? So this is how you're going to have to put most, if not all, of this in. Up until now, Chuck, the system had been working real nice. Those are 5. 10, 15, 20, 23, 24 and a half, 24.8. So you were up almost 50%. Chuck does say, where's my note, that you want to find an exit point, which is somewhere around, at 19 times your base bet. Okay, so that would be your base bet is a unit. So if you were up 19 units, okay. So what Chuck would be saying is, if you had started from, no, that you should. This is when you should have left the table when you hit this high point. But I can't do that when I do these tests because it screws things up as far as testing the veracity and the strength of the system, I think. So we just keep playing it through. So anyways, 50 units that you are down times 0.4 is your next wager is 20. So actually, yeah, you do have it right there. And you still got a couple bucks left, enough for, if this was a $5 table, you got enough to get lunch, get your last meal. Okay, so good luck. Hand 41. Soft 15. Oh, let's check for the ace. Soft 15 needs a card. Soft 16. 19. Soft 19 will stand to a dealer 10. And it will fall to a dealer 20. Okay, hand 41. You are just about out. We're going to play you, though. Again, Chuck might have suggested leaving the table. We're not going to do that. You obviously can no longer meet your 40% of the CLBs. You're just going to play what you have. So that's 3, 4 and a half, 4.8. Don't make me stack it up. 4.8. Come on. Chuck was right. You were on a losing streak. And like I said, yeah, one win does not end your losing streak, does it? No. You need 2 to get out. Come on. Well, obviously, that 20 looks pretty good. Let's see if this is a real casino. Again, you don't want the 8. You don't get the 8. You have 16. Whew. Okay. So what did I say that was? 4.8. How about I give you 5 and you give me 0.2. Okay. Well, that's fine. And so again, it's hard to tell. All of this loss balance that I was keeping track of over here just stays in the dealer tray, like where it had been the entire time, because they aren't going to stack it up for you on the table like that. I do that more for me than for you, I think. But also, I do it for you so that I can talk with you about it. Well, that kind of slowed us down. Insurance closed. Not there. 10, 2 and ace is just a hit. 19, how's that? Let's see how it holds up. 4, 14, 19, push. What do you got? Push. You don't get a chance for insurance or even money or anything. But hey, at least you didn't lose. Repeat the hand again. Can I give you another ace? No? How about a 20? Push. I haven't been keeping count, but it seems to me that we've seen a lot of little cards, and so this run of big cards, not too surprising. If you're counting cards, you would probably change your wagers. Although now, you see, even counting cards, like, yeah, this sucks, right? 15 hits, 25. Now the big cards don't help you. Although Bert, right there, your never bust strategy would have worked that time. So that loss takes you to a 2.2 for Chuck Temple. And you just scrapping by here. We're hoping for the end of the shoe to come pretty soon. Well, that's a nice double down. Gotta make change all the time. Two and two, just like Chuck Woolery said, back in 2 and 2, right? Single card. Let's do it that way, because I like to. 16. Too many. Hey, oops. 2.2 plus 2.2 is 4.4. I'm going to give you 4.5 and take a dime. What'd you have? What is that? 18? Nice, scrapping back a little bit here. Back to the top, single unit. This is hand 48. I knew we would get a few extras out of this. And it's helping you, because if we had cut it a couple hands ago, you'd be down a few more hands. 8-10 doubles to a 2. Single unit, double down. 1 card. 7. 14. There's our cut. Too many. What'd you have? Oof. Yeah. Okay. Stack them up. That was 48 hands. Obviously, Chuck is down. Man down. Alright, let's do the flat first, because it should be pretty easy. That's 5. 10, 20, 20, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So you are in the positive for 7 units. Okay? 57, gain of 7. Not bad. It was a pretty good shoe. And that's what the flat better helps us to see is how good the shoe was. At least that's what it seems like to me. Now let's see. What do you got left, Chuck? There's 5. 5, 10, 13, 14. Right there's just 15. That means you're down 35. I have my little way. See this stack of 3 and a stack of 5. Okay, so flat better after 48 hands is up 7 units. Chuck Temple after 48 hands is down 35. Obviously the flat better came out ahead. Chuck was doing real nice. Was up until he got on the losing streak and this 40% CLB, which when I do the summary after one more shoe, I'll go back. I'll kind of check on these things. I really think that this is killing you. Yeah, sometimes sometimes you win it, but you're taking fairly heavy losses. There's just no way to dig out of that. That gets to be a pretty steep hole, and this 1.5 on a long winning streak is not going to work you out of it. Okay, so again, 48 hands, up 7 for the flat, down by 35 for Chuck Temple. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye.